It didn't tell me. Man, I'm having a day, guys. I clearly just got back from vacation. Forgive me. It didn't pop up the button. All right. So I would like to welcome everybody to C10. For those that couldn't join us, I completely understand. It's a nice day. But C10 is a wonderful opportunity for you to get to know employers in a quick setting, right? Get a wealth of information and knowledge about their diversity and inclusion initiatives, as well as employment opportunities within their specific company. So today we're fortunate to have some really great individuals with us. But before we jump into that, I do want to let you know I love events. So I have one more final C10 that you all should join me for. The very last one is going to focus on summer internships and professional opportunities instead of opportunists. But we have two programs that I think you all will really enjoy, and looking to add hopefully one more to that. But if you're looking for a summer opportunity, if you're looking for something to start early fall, this will be something that you would want to join us for, so you can ask questions to these individuals about these opportunities, and so you can know when the application is, because we might not be in session when the application is due. So feel free to join us on April 20th from 5 to 6 p.m. for the last C10 of the semester, so you can learn about these summer opportunities. So with us today, we have two very, very beautiful individuals. We have Alicia Dombos and Edward Lachey, both representation of Nationwide. So Nationwide is on your side, right? We all know that commercial, right? So we have these really great individuals that are going to talk to you about their company. Alicia is a pro in everything that is Nationwide, and then Ed is the director of IT. So if you are engineering tech individual, that's your major in the College of Engineering, you definitely want to tune in to listen about his experience at Nationwide and the different opportunities that they have. And then Eugene wasn't able to join us tonight, but he's a great employer. So definitely pay attention to his email address and feel free to reach out to him if you are in environmental science, chem, bio, or a Russ College engineering major. He will be also a great fit for you. So feel free to reach out and contact him. But with that being said, we're going to turn it over. And then Ed and Alicia, I'll let you all decide who wants to start first, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then pass it over to you all so you can get started with your presentation.
Okay, yeah, thanks Tamika for the introduction. And just to kind of elaborate on those introductions, hi everybody, my name is Alicia Dombos. I am on the University Relations team here at Nationwide. So we often come out to campus and you'll see us hopefully in the fall at in-person events again, at least one day in the future. But we're excited to be here virtually. And I've been at Nationwide for over a year now, so not too long. So I'm still learning as I go as well. So be patient with me here. But I am actually going to pull up some slides, and I was going to toss it over to Ed to introduce himself, kind of give an overview of his team, what his role is, how he's grown at Nationwide. And then meanwhile, I'm going to pull up some visuals for us to go over, just to give you some more insight into who we are as a company. I'll provide some more insight into our overall enterprise internship program and what that entails for college students. And then we'll, of course, have a few slides to share on some of our diversity, equity, and inclusion updates for what we're doing here this year. So Ed, if you don't mind, just kind of taking it away and sharing your story and opportunities within Nationwide Technology, and then I'll be ready when you're done to pull up some slides and continue the conversation.
All right. Thanks, Alicia. Yeah, my name is Ed Lish. I'm going to correct Tamika a little bit. She said Lachey. It is Ed Lish. I do this often. It's no problem at all. And so just to kind of, I do have a title at Nationwide. I am a director of IT. Really, right now, it's a product architect within our technology lines. So what that means for you is that, I'm responsible for software delivery, the design of that software delivery. So we work with, if you're in your classes and you're talking about the computer programming languages, say if it's Java, Python, those technologies are used within what we call our development lines. And that's where all of the software development happens. And I help those teams with the design of applications. Like if you know nationwide.com, that's an application that you can go to. We help with the design of that, and you as a consumer can go there to find out about our products. In regards to, my relationship with Ohio University, I have a team of individuals that we come on campus. Like Alicia said, we look forward to getting back on campus. Many of you have probably seen me there on campus at recruiting events. And recruiting is really specific around our internship program. So I know Tamika had mentioned that on April 20th, there is an event, a C10 event, specific to the internship program. We have at Nationwide, and I'm proud to say, a very good internship program that you would definitely want to come to visit us at one of either our virtual career fairs or when we get back on campus in the fall, hopefully. But so, yeah, that's me. I'm Ed Lish, and I enjoy my job at Nationwide. Back to you, Alicia.
All right, thank you. I am trying to upload this PowerPoint presentation here, so I think it's coming. So let me see if it's going to load for us here. So as Tamika kind of noted in the intro, with Nationwide on your side, with us being a consumer brand and commercials everywhere, a lot of students might have that recognition of who we are. We're headquartered in downtown Columbus, Ohio. So when our internship program hasn't been virtual, it is typically in downtown Columbus. So interns get to live, work, and play in downtown, which is awesome during the summertime with all the sporting events and everything from hands-on experiences to in our office, getting your own desk, your own computer system, and so forth. So I'll go into a little bit about what to expect from a summer internship perspective, but Nationwide as a whole, we offer several different products like, I think my PowerPoint's coming up here. Several different products like, as typically people know, home and auto, but then we also have, let's see here, I'll kind of bring this one up. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing, or is that really tiny? Here we go.
No, we can see. It's
okay.
in presenter mode on your end.
It's on presenter mode.
Probably. That's probably why it looks really tiny for you.
Okay, I got it. Perfect. All right, so yeah, here is just some of the products. So in case you didn't know, we're not just what I would call one-dimensional. We've got a whole smorgasbord of products and teams that support these products, and everything from like pet insurance. If you've got a dog and you want to take care of, I got a puppy last year and I got our pet insurance, which was awesome. When he went and got vaccinated for all the shots and stuff, it wasn't as expensive as it could have been if I didn't have this protection for him. So these are just some of the different types of things that we offer and that you would learn about coming into our company. And then speeding along here, I really wanted to talk a little bit about our diversity, equity, and inclusion team, and I'll definitely ask Ed to add on his perspective as well. But I wanted to put up these 3 definitions because these definitions are a part of the Nationwide culture. Everybody asks a lot of the times at career fairs, what's the culture like at Nationwide? And honestly, these 3 definitions are so critical and so important to who we are as a company. I wanted to make sure everybody knew how we define diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as you can see, diversity is really summed up as differences we all bring to the workplace. So when you think of who you are, everything down to your personality, your age, your ethnicity, and the style that you bring when you're thinking about different solutions and just your thought process. So we really value that diversity in our workforce, and that is something that we haven't adopted this year because it's trendy and because of all the events happening in the world. This is an office that has been in place for decades at Nationwide. We've had a DE&I position at Nationwide for decades. So this has been a part of our culture for a long time. It is not an office or a team that we just created this year as a reaction. And we're committed, and we are continuing to be committed to these efforts, and including with equity. For example, it's the fairness and access to opportunities. So to have diversity and equity without inclusion can be dangerous. So continuing on with inclusion, it's really what ignites the power of our differences. So making sure that you can be your whole self showing up to work every day. You can be the same person you are at home that you are here at Nationwide. We value you, and whether you're an intern or coming in as a new grad, this is something that I think every team is pretty passionate about, and just feeling confident that you can be your whole true self while coming and being a part of our company. So these are some of our definitions that I just wanted to share with you all, because again, I get fired up when I talk about it. I know a lot of people do too. And this is something that we definitely wanted to share with you today. Another quick topic that I wanted to share is on the topic of social justice and what we're doing in relation to social justice with all the events happening in the world. Some of the things that I wanted to call out here are engagement with our associates. So as you can imagine, as a huge company, we have over 20,000 team members. So we sent out a survey to kind of do a pulse check on how are you as a team member feeling right now? Is there anything that we can do as a company that can support you better and to advocate for you better? So we're constantly reaching out for feedback. We're hosting conversations in our team calls, just so that way everybody feels like their voices can be heard and you feel comfortable sharing your opinions and your thoughts. We've hosted Catalyte for Change sessions over the past year, where we are really trying to bring in external speakers like members of Congress and basically people local and national on national levels to come in and empower us to be advocates for change and to continue to be allies and to continue to be there for each other during all of these different topics that come up. We also have our support from the top, our CEO. He has denounced racism. We do not stand for that as a company. We have declared it a public health crisis. And that support coming from the top has been instrumental in kind of getting these things in motion as well and continuing those support. We even hosted a huge rally in downtown Columbus during the pandemic last year. We were all masked up and we all went right outside Nationwide Arena and just listened to our own team members and some of our associate resource group leaders, which I'll get into in a second, really talk about how we are standing together and we are continuing to advocate for change. And then also just we created a social justice task force internally that is comprised of over 25 different individuals in the business and all different levels of leadership. And they're tasked with, throughout the year, meeting and coming up with tangible ways that we can continue to make a difference and then report back to the entire company on upcoming events, upcoming sponsorships or partnerships that we're continuing to do to continue our mission with social justice efforts. So Ed, anything you wanted to add on kind of these topics as you've been close to some of this as well, and just anything that you would add from your perspective?
Yeah, you covered it well, Alicia. I'll hit on two things though. One, if you notice when Alicia was going through the slides, Nationwide has always been deliberate when she talks about, our diversity and inclusion efforts. We've had that panel, those individuals, roles specific for that activity for a decade. It's been true, and that's why we've always talked about instead of saying employees, we talk about associates. Associates are the key to one of our values. And if you see on this screen, when you talk about leading with our values, and values is capitalized because there's a set of values that Nationwide that's had for I think a decade. You'd have to correct me if I'm wrong, Alicia, but that one of those specifically in there is, we value people, and that value in people piece of it showed really when she talked about when the social injustice activities that were occurring happened. Our CEO was one of the first CEOs of a top 100 company, was one of the first CEOs to come out publicly and say, hey, we will not stand for this, and we denounce this as a company. And then the town hall was just a representation of that. And then they put in many different programs. And the final things that I'll say is that those programs that were put in from a Nationwide perspective were really just an extension of things that we have in our diversity and inclusion, guidelines. And now we started making action from them. And just as early as today, I sat on a panel today where we had a conversation around words, things that you may say in a work environment, hurt other people. So be careful about the words that you're doing. So we're us as leaders and as associates across the company, we're actually relearning how to even work with each other so that we're sensitive to things that may have hurt feelings and things of that nature in the past.
Yep, good call out there.
Yep.
So the only other thing that I wanted to add on this topic today is just our associate resource groups are an amazing way for new hires, interns coming in new to the company to really get involved at a quick pace. I mean, you can join as many in any associate resource groups as you want. And they're there just even as a great networking tool to get out of your team and to meet students or associates from different areas of the business. So we have all women's resource groups. We have AWARE, which is our African American women's resource group, our Corporate Connections, which are our African American men's resource group. We have Pride. We have everything from a young professional resource group. Moms of Nationwide, as you can see here, Inspire Asians. We've got Latino Alliance. There's really something for everybody. So, and we've got 19 diversity councils. So all these different ARGs, which is our acronym that we use quite frequently internally when we discuss these groups. All of these groups have various events and they're very involved. For example, this month was Women's History Month. So a lot of the women's groups have been hosting webinars and speaker series and mentorship circle sessions with breakouts with different leaders. So there's a lot of cool things, even virtually, that they've been doing, but especially once we're back in person, that they'll continue to plan that you can become a part of and be engaged in, and just a great way to get outside your normal day-to-day circle and kind of take advantage of some networking within Nationwide. So that's some great opportunities there. Just to wrap things up, just wanted to circle back just kind of on our opportunities for interns and just give you a quick snapshot of some of our main business units here at Nationwide. So I know sometimes when you think of, a big insurance company, you don't immediately think of technology opportunities, or you might not immediately think of a marketing opportunity. But the cool thing is even Ed's area within Nationwide Technology, we're having 100 interns in that department alone this summer. So just keep an open mind as you're looking at your major and trying to find companies out there that might be a good fit for you. Really expand your search and kind of think, hey, these large companies, they have a lot of opportunities for a lot of different majors. So keep that in mind, because I wanted to highlight here on this visual of some of our different areas, such as finance, technology, investments, innovation, marketing. So sky's the limit on what you could potentially be a part of. And then our summer internship program, it will be a virtual 12-week program this summer. It is typically in person, like I mentioned, in Columbus, but due to COVID, we didn't feel like having everybody come in and be in a mask for 40 hours a week and having to socially distance and be responsible in that way for the summer, while it is still a necessity to look out for our team member safety and for your safety as well. We just thought it'd be a good experience for you all to be able to work remote. And then we'll still have it be a full-time 40-hour-a-week summer internship that's paid. We'll do virtual tech talks. We'll do things like virtual meet and greets with senior leaders, mentoring circles, resume workshops, personal branding workshops. We've got a smorgasbord of things planned right now throughout the summer to guarantee that you'll be busy. And we do have a few spots left open for the summer. So we are close to being filled. But if that's something that you're interested in, definitely go to nationwide.com/careers, or I will put my contact information on this next slide here. So just in the effort of time, wanted to make this short and sweet and take any questions, or happy to elaborate on anything that we chatted about here today.
Yeah, no, thank you. That was actually really great to hear, right? So I asked companies, like, do you have, as you all call them, ARGs, but ERGs and things of that sort. So to see that list, right? And I saw the one about pet advocacy, the one about the environment, the one about moms. So that was just cool, because that was a different identity that, sometimes we don't focus on, right? But that's a way to make sure everybody feels fulfilled. It can get involved in something. So I love that you all have that. And you made a really great point in regards to talking about the different offices that you all have, because really the legal office stuck out to me, right? Because I know a lot of law majors, and I mean, it also never dawned on me, you always think like law firm, but I mean, we also have a legal team as a university, right? Like, let's go with the legal team before we do X, Y, Z, and the third. So I think that's really cool for students to know. You don't have to be finance or engineering to get these opportunities, right? And sometimes it's just you have to think outside the bubble. So hopefully a student that's watching this can now consider nationwide for an internship for their major that they thought wouldn't initially be served by you all. So I enjoy that about yourself. So Will, Amar, if you have a question, I'll let you kick it off. But if not, then I can, filter in with questions as well.
Yeah, I actually do have a few questions. My first question is, are there programs outside of Ohio? Like, does Nationwide serve customers outside of Ohio as well?
Yeah, so we have opportunities in Scottsdale, Arizona. We've got quite a large campus, a brand new campus out there in Scottsdale. We have one in Des Moines, Iowa. We have some opportunities in San Antonio, Texas. And more, we're seeing even some more remote opportunities come about. So you can work from wherever and be assigned to a particular area, like Harleysville, Pennsylvania has a remote workforce now that was an in-person office. So I think just the workforce in general is changing a little bit, but there's definitely opportunities in different cities at some of our office locations there.
And Brea, California.
Oh yeah, how could I forget Brea?
that is where our pet home office is. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was also going to ask about the remote work opportunities. Do you think you're going to see more of that as even as the pandemic ends? Because I know like a lot of other companies have been talking about like how the pandemic actually revealed that working from home is like has been like very possible and beneficial for some for some employees.
Yeah, you want to take that, or you want me to take it, Alicia?
Yeah, go ahead, Ed. Yep.
Yeah, so Nationwide realizes that as well. What we've done with our roles at Nationwide is we've categorized them into roles that we feel should be in what region. And then we have this hybrid, we'll call it a hybrid, whereas, it's a flex. Sometimes, because of our business may be in the office, we need to be in front of them. We want someone to be in that region, to be associated with them. But we do have the flexibility to work from home, just to kind of give you an idea of where that would go. And it's new. This thing is very fluid. Will change based off of the need and the demand of the industry and the talent that we want to attract. But Nationwide, and it's one of the reasons why I love this company is that we have always built our technology on a resiliency posture. When we hit the pandemic, many companies failed to continue to operate, but within a month, we were at home with our entire IT staff working 100% at home, didn't miss a beat. So I bring that statistic up and just really that to light, because we have the ability to have remote associates, people work at remote locations for any type of position. But just because we're so customer focused, we really want to make sure that we do what's right for the role and the business that we support. So the net of that is, yes, we'll have those opportunities, and it's all about the role that you have at Nationwide.
Cool. Yeah. And this is so with the diversity, I think that was awesome, like how you guys talked about the different resource groups that you guys offered. Are there like any specific internships or training programs or any other opportunities for targeted groups or people of a more diverse background?
So I can speak to that, and then you can chime in, Alicia. So with our internship program, our focus has been to be, really to try to get 50%, diverse candidates within that pool. And the reason we focused on that, and this was a focus on ours even before any of the injustice activities that have occurred and things of that nature, we realized that if you have a diverse workforce, you have a better product, just quite frankly. And so Nationwide really did this year, our focus really was on women. It was like, look, we don't have enough women in IT specifically. Let me talk specific with IT. We want to make sure that we get those women pipeline into our internship program. So as a leader of the Ohio OU campus squad, my focus was, listen, I want to talk to the professors at OU, get them to get all the female engineers, CIS students to our table because we want to have a conversation with them. And I say that to be, sometimes you're deliberate about the diverse candidates that you may not have. So we'll be deliberate about that population. And so I'd like to say that, yeah, we're very diverse and we actually seek out diverse talent. I don't know if you wanted to add anything additional to that, Alicia.
Yeah, I mean, I think just coming into those conversations and just looking out for yourself and Mar, kind of thinking about what you want to do after graduation. And like, for example, we do have interns on our DE&I team, and you can come in and be a diversity, equity, and inclusion intern. You can come in and be a marketing intern. But the more clarity you have kind of around what you want to do, the better, because our goal at the end of the day is always to convert our interns into full-time team members. So we're very deliberate as well about recruiting people that could potentially see themselves at Nationwide after graduation. So that's what we're looking for as well in talent. A lot of times we target college juniors because we have a goal of giving them a full-time offer at the end of the summer. And we'll take a few sophomores here and there as well, but just that's always our goal. Just from what we look at on campus is we want to bring you into the family full time. And we're already looking at that a year in advance when you come in as an intern. So.
Yep. And just a final thing on that, because if anyone who has been at OU, we used to bring in freshmen and we used to bring in a lot of sophomores. It just didn't matter. But just to the point that, and I love you made this point, Alicia, and I struggled with this at the beginning, but I love what has happened as a result of it, was that we did target juniors. Our focus on juniors was the simple fact that we believe that if you had a summer intern with us, and it's going to be a great internship. You're going to get the necessary skills and things of that nature. And it's a win-win. It's like Nationwide gets to try you out. You get to try Nationwide out. And at the end of that agreement, we can say, yes, you want to be an employee or not. And there's no guessing game in that. And it helps us with our pipeline and our demand, which is fantastic. I go to an internship. I do a good job. My company likes me. I get a job before I go into my senior year. It's a fantastic program. So I love the fact that we made that change, but we were deliberate around that because we do like to make sure that we get that binding agreement right after the end of it, and you end up with a job. So I know I was like that when I came out of college. I wanted a job.
Yeah, no, that is a wonderful feeling that everybody doesn't get the opportunity to feel, because
That's right.
I had a nice gap in between my master's and my big girl jobs.
Exactly.
To have that opportunity, I think it is wonderful, right? So I appreciate you all sharing that information. Then you said like a D&I intern. I'm like, well, you're blowing my mind here, right? So you're really essentially letting students know like their major most majors seem like they can be served by your company, right? Because let's say I was a humanities major, right? So I was social work and psychology. By the time I graduated, I no longer want to be a relationships counselor, right? But when you talk about D&I work, right, women and gender studies and sociology and psychology, right? Would you say that those majors could be served in kind of like some of those, or what opportunities do you think within your internship program could serve those type of students? Because I think a lot of times they get overlooked or don't know how to go after an internship.
Yeah, I mean that you nailed it. They could easily, it really just depends on their passion. And we're not going to limit somebody just because your major is this. That's the point of an interview, right? Is we want to know what you're passionate about. What do we have at Nationwide that could really match those passions? So you're coming in and you're starting a career that you're passionate about. You're not just coming in and clocking in from 8 to 5 and we want people to love what they do. So there's several teams here that fit all different majors. Corporate citizenship, if you're passionate about giving back to the community, we have a whole corporate citizenship division where we're doing volunteer events and getting our team members out and about in the community. There's different teams, even from a marketing standpoint, where we're constantly understanding the consumer and trying to figure out, okay, as we offer these products to consumers like ourselves, what do we want out of our products? So a lot of research and development and innovation. Our innovation team is growing a lot, and just thinking of new ways to stay ahead of the curve so that we're constantly innovating on ways to meet the customer when we know people want things instantly, they want things digitally, and they want things, as soon as possible. So how can we meet the demands of the ever-changing consumer? So all of those different fields, I could see those majors falling into and really thriving. So
I love that. And I'm like, man, where were you all at when I was in undergrad, right? You were there. I just didn't know, right? Like I just had no clue. So I thank you for that. I do have a question in regards to GPA, right? When we talk about removing barriers and access, right? We realize that our minoritized students, they sometimes have lower GPAs, not because they're not capable, but because they could be taking care of a family member. They could be working 3 jobs, right? So, and I have students that, should I put my GPA on my resume? Should I not? We have our rule of thumb that we tell them, but how heavy does GPA weigh in a student's ability to obtain one of your internship opportunities?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it is very dependent on that conversation and understanding the story behind maybe why they struggled to get a 3.0. We would love to see everybody have a 3.0 if possible. If not, though, is there things that we can even do as a company to help bring that up or to help mentor them? So, for example, we have students coming into our internship program, and we're hosting professional development workshops for some students before they even get here. Like, how can we reach out and help you grow? But I totally understand. We have many business groups that understand there's certain things that do impact GPA, and I would say it's not an end all be all for us. So if you do have one that is concerning right now, it's not an automatic no by any means. It's okay, what are you doing? Are you taking action items at least to address it? Are there things that we can help you do if you do come into our internship program to get you back on that track? Is this a field that you want to pursue after graduation? And if so, how can we get you that hands-on experience to complement what you're learning in class? And do you at least grasp the concepts that you're learning in class through your core curriculum? Or is it just these classes that are outside of what you're passionate about that maybe you're struggling in? So we look to understand the full situation, I think, a lot of the times if they are concerned about a particular GPA, but I would say it's not an end-all be-all for our decision factor here.
That's great. That's great to hear. Mr, did you have another question?
Yeah, I actually had one more question. I wanted to touch back on the different. I know, Alicia, you said that that you offer programs that don't limit people's opportunities based on their majors and stuff. So my question is, like for example, with Ed, your department, do they offer training programs for people outside of the majors for those programs?
You want me to take that, or you got? Yeah. So, let me make sure that I answer your question correctly. You're asking if you were to get an internship or if you were to become an employer, do we have training programs to help you upskill into a different job or whatever?
Yeah, like for example, with your department, your IT, is it possible for someone else, like a major completely unrelated to IT, to like be part of a training program to actually get them into that department?
So from an internship program, it's not. Now I'm going to say it like this: from an internship program, if you were in let's just say a science major, and you came to one of our interviews and you demonstrated that you understood technology and you could kind of work in our development lines, and we vet that out because we would hate for you to come in there, have no knowledge of what to do as an intern. That's going to be a bad situation for you because you're just foreign to not having any programming language background and things of that nature. So we vet that out. However, this is it's a little different from our OU internship, but I have a daughter who's actually her son was at Bowling Green, and he was in a communications major, but he's an engineer to heart. So he was able to get himself an internship because he understood the technology and the workings of the machine to be able to demonstrate that in the interview. So I'd say that it's less around what major it is. It's about what it's similar to what Tamika said, is it's about what your passion is and what you have, a little bit of experience and background in to get an IT internship. Right. And so, and Alicia, you probably have more data than I do on this because I've been focused on the IT internship program. But when she gave the numbers earlier, around 100 IT, those are IT internships. We also have internships across our businesses as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have those numbers as far as, the totals that we go for. But, so I always answer that question because it's a great question, Amir, around, how do I get skilled up? I've been in, what I see with students a lot is that I've been in a certain career, student path of some education path, but I have an interest in something else like technology, arts, or whatever. How do I get that experience to land one of those jobs? And the two things I always tell students is either change your major and go that track, get a double major. And the second one is self-study. If you can self-study, say if I'm an arts major and then I'm interested in doing Python development, you can go on your self-study time, learn how Python works, develop you an application and be competent in the interview and bring both of your experiences together to land one of those internship jobs.
Awesome. Yeah, that was really good to hear. Thank you.
That was really positive because I think, like for me, like I love entrepreneurship, business, innovation, right? But I wasn't gonna pass business calculus. I'm gonna let y'all know that now. Me and math have a love-hate relationship. It wasn't gonna happen, right?
Amen. Yep.
Right? So I didn't major in business, but can I give you $1 million idea? Absolutely. Do I probably know how to work it and make money off of it? Absolutely, right? But I'm gonna help people because there's no math involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my passion is business, right? So you have students that's like that, right? Who just have this mindset or this natural knack for something else, but due to the barriers of the major, right, they weren't able to get in. It's like our journalism program. Not every student gets in, right? But that doesn't mean that they can't be a great journalist. They don't have great writing or presentation or broadcasting skills. So
Right.
I love that you all recognize that in students. Really, you all have me sold. I mean, I have a full-time job, but I love that you all recognize the student, right? You see the person for who they are and what they bring to the table. And at the end of the day, people want to be seen for who they are. They don't want to go to work with a mask on every day. So students that are listening, Amar, like I hope this encourages you to even look at their opportunities. If you weren't entertaining the idea, you should definitely entertain it now. Like I'm gonna tell my team, like we need to start dropping some knowledge because this is a great opportunity. This is a great culture. This is healthy. And it's all about development. And I hear those developmental pieces within your conversation of how you just don't bring the person in and sit them behind a desk or give them just busy work, right? You're looking to push them up, right? Upward mobility and growth and knowledge and experience. And that's just well-being within the person. So I think that's extremely, extremely beneficial and great for me to hear as a part of our employer relations team. My dog also has y'all pet insurance, which I should probably use it. I don't know how to use dog insurance, but for it every month. But now you just encouraged me the next time she gets shots, I'm gonna give them the insurance card.
Yeah. Yeah. Submit that.
I don't know how to use it, but she has it, but
Yeah.
well, I want to thank you all for being here. I will ask you one more question that I think every student wants to know, but with that, we'll be done. But when you talk about the perfect applicant, right, or the perfect applicant, right, what is maybe one piece of advice that you could give your incoming internship cohort that is currently applying for opportunities?
You can go first, Ed.
Oh, yeah. So I always tell people just be open and willing to learn. If you come with the one thing that you can control when you are anywhere, especially at an employer, is your attitude. And if you come with a good attitude, willing to learn, you will succeed at any internship. It's that simple.
Yep, I 100% agree with that. And then I'll just even say, specifically when you're an internship candidate or you're a student applying to a position, the best thing to do is to come to events like this, or when there's events hosted on campus, go and meet with those employers face to face. So you're building your personal brand and they're going to remember you. And a lot of times they'll give you a business card so you can stay in touch and have a contact at that company to know their recruiting timelines, know when to apply. They're going to know you already took initiative to network with them by going to an event that you could have been doing a million other things on campus at the same time. But showing that extra effort when we have, say, 100 IT computer science students all coming for the same internship, what sets you apart? And what in those interview conversations can you say that is different than any other student that they might be talking to that week? Because if you give us some of those canned responses, while they sound good, it doesn't really differentiate you from the candidate pool. So always challenge yourself to think, how can I bring my unique personality, my strengths to this conversation? And how at the end of this conversation can I make them remember me based on my individual responses, and knowing that the next student that they talk to cannot say that same response because that's unique to me and what I can bring to the table. So I would just say, to summarize it up, challenge yourself to be as specific as possible in anything that you're asked about, and make the effort to go network on campus when you know other students with your same major, your same student involvement aren't there. So what can you do extra that people in your same shoes aren't necessarily doing to get ahead of the game? And that's kind of the advice that I will leave you all with today.
I love that. So to sum up, come to the CODC events, right?
Yes.
Practice mock interviewing, schedule your appointment today, or utilize Big Interview, and think deeper about your experiences, because every student is in a student org, but what makes your experience unique, right? Think deeper. That way, when you talk about something you did, it's not like, I'm president of an organization. So 10,000 other students. What makes your presidency so much greater? Did you increase enrollment? Did you challenge the university to do something? Did you, think deeper about your experience? So for my students that did the Diversity First Awards interview, and I told you, make me feel you. She just confirmed that you all need to make them feel you, right? That answer that is going to make them think about you, even when the next student is talking, is how you're going to land that opportunity. So we can work on that together. Either you schedule an appointment with me or you do mock interviewing. We can work on that. But I love that piece of advice. And it's only reaffirming what we're trying to teach our students. So I appreciate you all. And a positive attitude does get you far. If 2020 has taught us anything, you need to just be adaptable and have a positive attitude, because if you walk in with a funky one, you're probably going to have a bad day and mess somebody else up. So let's not do that. So visit nationwide.com to see their opportunities, probably under the careers tab, or do you all have an internship tab?
Yeah, we've got internship exclusive. You can search by internship opportunities. So anytime you all need employer participation for anything on campus, never hesitate to reach out to us. We are always willing to jump in and to network with students. We're just as excited to meet with you all as you are to get opportunities in the future. So never hesitate to reach out.
Yep.
Wonderful. I love it. Well, I want to thank you all for participating in C10. I really appreciate anybody that takes time after 5 o'clock to be with me, because I know that's not everybody's ministry, but I appreciate you all for being here with me. For Amar for being here in person. You just made a good first impression, young man. And for anybody that later views this, we won't hold it against you, but definitely reach out to Alicia and Edward. I want to say Lachey because I thought he was related to Nick Lachey, maybe. But no.
Nope.
I was trying to make him. I was trying to make him famous, but that
right.
is
Yeah, I'll take it.
Right. But you all have a great night, and please feel free to book an appointment with the CODC at any time. And you all have a beautiful night. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Tamika.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.